It's time for another episode of Raising Courageous Leaders by Mr. Bunke Shipalana. That's my dad.
Whoever pays you controls you. Whoever pays you controls you. And I sat and I'm like, but what does it mean whoever pays you controls you? And the control part talks about your destiny, talks about your promised land, talks about your future. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, God, are you saying to me that my boss, my manager, controls me? And the message that I had in my heart was that no, the decision is not where the money is coming from, is who the source is. The decision is not where the money is coming from, but who the source is. So I can have a boss, but he's not paying me. God is paying me through him. And it's a slight adjustment of the mind or the thinking that even though I'm getting money from you, it's not from you, it's through you. So God becomes the one who pays me. God becomes the one who controls me. God becomes the one who's in charge of my future. And if we're to have that slight adjustment in the mind, then we have made God the source and my boss the resource. But most of us have forgotten about God and made our boss the source. And if you make him the source, then the company, the motto, the vision of the company ends up becoming a personal vision. It's so sad that in my young life, when I go around the country and I meet young people and I'm like, so tell me, what do you think your future is going to be like? Where are you going? What's in there for you? And people define their company's role. No, 10 years from now, I want to be a general manager. No, I didn't ask you about the company. I asked about you. We are unable to define who we are without defining the company. Why? Because we have made the company our source. To simplify it, if I work for company XYZ and every month they pay me 20,000 rand, these days, they never come with an envelope and say, here's the money. The money is paid into a particular bank account which I'm a client to, and then the money from that particular account comes to me, and I go to an ATM. If I'm an ABSA person, I go to ABSA ATM or any other ATM, and I go and withdraw that money. Because I withdraw the money from an ABSA ATM, it doesn't mean that I work for ABSA. I still work for a company. ABSA is a channel for me to be rewarded for my work. When I see an ABSA advert, I don't jump and down and say, here's my boss, here's my boss. ABSA works for me. ABSA is there to make sure that I receive certain benefits. I will never bow down to ABSA. So the question is, why do we bow down to the people who pay us? When they are just a channel, they are just an ATM, they are just a bank. And that is why, even though I bank with ABSA, if I go to a particular shopping complex or a filling station and there's only a net bank account, I can still access the money through the net bank. That's why you can move jobs, because the source is the same. So make sure that in your heart and in your mind you have a clear understanding that whoever pays you controls you. And you decide who the person is. Is it God or is it your immediate boss? And the minute you make it God, then it becomes easy. You don't have to get angry at this person when the person suddenly buys a BMW. Don't get jealous. Says, why I buy BMW? Because he's not your boss. Your boss is up there. When you run out of cash, you don't go to him and you go to him and says, "Komla salary increase." Loka Allah, you don't fight with him because he's not your boss. You go and pray because that's where the real increase is going to come from. So I just thought, let me impart that As I said, that it's not a tangible thing, it's just a shift. It's just a shift in thinking.
Stop waiting for someone to rescue you.
You must have patience and engage in consistent action.
Find the inspiration within yourself
Patience.
to rise above and be your own hero. Join Bonke Shipalana on The Power Within.